That was too low. Good evening. It is Friday, so it's time for a stream. Now, I have been failing a little bit at doing my streams. Last week there wasn't one, and I apologize for that, but I wasn't really feeling well, and it's going a bit up and down, but for various reasons I'm doing one tonight. And we're going to be doing Puppercraft, and the reason for that is because I would like to play some Puppercraft, but also if you're following things, then you might be surprised as to that choice. I don't know if Mo can actually hear me, but the reason is that if you play Pupperframe, then update 26 just came out, and why would we be playing that tonight? But the reason is very simply that Moo, who is there in the chat, isn't available today, so I wouldn't be able to have Moo there, and I kind of want to experience it together. So I'm hoping that we can do a stream on the weekend. It will probably be Sunday. It could potentially be late Saturday, but I doubt it, because I don't think I want to stream once I finally get home. But so I'm thinking that it will be Sunday, and we will be tackling update 26 at that point. There's a bunch of new stuff, but we'll be taking that at that point. But let's get ourselves started here. So I've been doing a few things. As you can see, I have a shiny hat. I managed to get another mending book, so my hat has now been enchanted. And I just put it on again. 70%, or 70%, 70 seconds of water breathing though. It's technically not water breathing because it's only 10 seconds of water breathing, and then after that it's just delayed suffocation. But you know what I mean. Other than that, I've also upgraded with Careful Bapper here, which is a Silk Touch pick. Other than that, there's not been so much hardware upgrades, but I've been doing a few things. It's been so long now that I'm not entirely sure where we even left off, but I've been digging the basement a little bit, I've been working on the town a little bit, I have been working a little bit in there. I've still not set up the automatic bamboo thingy, because I still need either slime blocks or more slime in general. Basically just slime. I need either to have slime pistons, or I need to have slime blocks so I can use one piston to do the job of multiple pistons. So that's it. However, I have set up some stuff in here. I've decorated the entranceway a little bit. The idea is that I can expand this down further sections. Each section will be 7 blocks long here, and then as there is room, because some might require more sideways space, then there will be rooms off to the side, and the hallway is made so that it will be in darkness, and then each door will be lit by the light source behind it so that your attention is sort of drawn towards the doors. I'm using the same sort of layout as I had used over in the tunnel to the town, but behind here we have a netherwort farm. Small, nothing major. Like, you can make a big massive netherwort farm, but honestly, unless you have a very, very extensive project, I prefer just having a small one. So this is just a very simple one. All light comes from in there, and just water flowing down 8 blocks, and it collects down here. So just boom, turn it off, and then you can go down and collect everything. And the reason I use this design is also because you can just do this, and it is so much nicer when you're replanting. Just go back and forth. You can also place a block above so that you can't walk down accidentally, but I wanted to make it a little bit more aesthetic, so I haven't done that. So that is the Netherwort farm. Other than that, what has happened? Well, I've done a little bit of work on the spider farm, which I wanted to work a little bit on tonight. But let's have a look around first before we do anything. So let's see here. Down here I have put in a flooring because I got tired of looking at stone and stuff. Put a little bit of here, put up some lights so this is actually lit up. And then in here I put some stuff as well. A permanent item disposal, which currently does not work because there is no mechanism behind it. We will try to do that tonight. I have a design for it in another world and we'll be looking at that. But I wanted to talk a little bit about things because... oh yeah, there's also an auto furnace. This is the scrapper, which uses saplings as fuel because they can burn down to the single item, while this one uses coal. So I don't really need the experience at this point, so this is just if I need to burn a bunch of things like 8 stacks of cobble into smooth stone, then I can just toss it down here and it does it for me and I don't have to sit and manage a furnace. So it's just a nice quality of life thing. So that is that. Let me just respond there. So another thing, which I have not done yet, but I wanted to talk about it, is this over here. Our mine entrance, because as we experienced in the last stream, there is a small problem, and that is that these vines occasionally grow under this, and that's not good because then you can't get out. It disappears again after a moment, but it can still waste a bit of time. So yay, moving here. So that's a little annoying, and I was thinking of changing it so that instead of using vines, we're actually going to use something else. It will mean that we probably have to move the floor up a little higher than expected, because I don't think the layout of the bedrock here will fit for it. Also, I'm probably going to do it off stream because I'm not going to do it on this stream either way, but I might do it off stream. But I will show you, because I have made the design in another world to make sure that it works and stuff. But essentially what I want to do is I want to replace this with a water column and then use bubble pillars. If you know the update, 13 introduced bubble columns, which is a column of solid water blocks where you have either soul sand or magma blocks underneath, will cause an upwards or downward stream. Soul sand will create an upwards and the magma will create a downwards. The problem is we only have one column here. Otherwise, if we had two, we could just make one that goes up and one that goes down. That's easy. That's not really that fancy. So what we want to do is we want to use one column to do both. And to do that, we need to use a block switcher. So I made a design to do that, essentially. So we need to be able to switch it, and that results in some different problems. Like, there could be a problem that makes it simply not work, and that is the portal up here. Because in order to work, it has to have a default mode. Default mode will be going down, because otherwise we can't ever get down. And you might simply be moving too quickly in the column that you can't get off on this level. Now, we do have a fairly large amount of space, so it should be possible just by rubbing against the side of the wall. I don't think it will be a problem. It could be. But what we're going to do is we're going to use fences in these places here, because then we can have the solid water blocks in the center. These portals are obnoxious, which is why I put them down here. So let's go down again here for a moment while I talk. So it will go default down, which means that once we get down here, we need to be able to switch it, and then it needs to switch back again. So essentially what needs to happen is we click a button down here that switches the block so it goes into up mode, and then we need to have time to get on it and get up before it switches back again and goes into down mode. It needs to switch back on its own, because otherwise how will we get the signal down here? And also having to click the button twice either way would be a little annoying. It does have one downside. This has this downside that sometimes you just get trapped down here for a little bit. The other would have the downside that once you return from the nether, you can't go up. You have to come down here, click the button, and then go up again. In exchange for that, you will go up and down pretty damn fast, because the bubble pillars are pretty quick. But I think it will work. And we will take a look at that in a little bit. I want to finish the show around first. Also, here's my first diamond. I like to mark the first diamond that I find. And I'm not going to leave it here. I'm going to pick it up and move it. Often in my worlds I use pistons to do it so that I don't have to mine it. But I might mine it here. I did find some more up here though. While I was digging out the room, I hit upon this room. So, always nice to find a few more. But still no slimes have spawned down here. And it's definitely large enough now that they should be able to spawn at that end once we're at this end, but chance of slime spawning is not the best. Yep, it is Papa's first diamond. Alright, so let's quickly pass by the portals before they start to annoy my ears. Now, let's stay in the redstone sign for a moment longer. Because last time, if you remember, I was talking about the bamboo farm and what would be necessary to make it work. I made this thing over here, which, if you remember, is the pulse thingy. So one that causes stuff to happen. Right, what? That did not do anything. Ah, that's because I removed this block. There we go. I removed that block because it was in the way of things I was testing here, and then I forgot to put it back. So, this is the pulse reducer. For each pulse you want to... rather, if you have multiple pulses that you want to turn into a single pulse, then this does it. So what it does is, once this receives an update, it causes this to put a block into this one. As soon as this gets one, it outputs a signal here, which causes this to turn on. So if we flip it once, that is when the bamboo will grow. You can see now the piston extends, which is what we want. The lamp is the piston, which causes the bamboo to get broken. I don't have a water bucket in here right now. Maybe I should have that. I am prepared. Let's just do that real quick. Boop. Just for the example. So, once again, flip that. So, piston extend. The bamboo has reached a certain height at this point, so it will extend the pistons and harvest them. That should also turn on the water, and the water should stay on until we essentially are done harvesting, which is when all the bamboo is flushed to the collection point. So the problem is that once we harvest the bamboo, we receive another update tick because the bamboo has disappeared. Then we receive an update tick because the water has flowed in the space, and then once we turn it off again, this will receive another update which will cause the water to once again input there. That will make this empty, which will make this one output a signal, or rather it will stop outputting a signal, which will unpower these, which will unpower this, which will unpower the hopper and allow the items to float back. And because of the delay we have on the repeaters, it is long enough that there is time enough for the 4 what is it called, cobblestone to move back. So 2, 3, now we have 3 in there, 1 in there, 1 more turns off, and just enough time to go back. The one thing I didn't mention last time is this is not all we need. This was just an example circuit. This was the thing that we were working on. And I forgot that there needs to be one more thing, and that is this thing over here. Because you can see here, that is the circuit that will control the extent of the what is it called? Basically control how long the flushing will happen, because this here will flush when it receives the first one, and then it will unflush. This is just an example circuit to make it work. That over there would actually do it. So we need this one here, and then basically at this point here we need to plug this this circuit in. The problem is that this wants a pulse, but it gets a toggle. Like, it's expecting a button, but this here will remain on until the water stops flushing. So therefore, essentially after this one, we need to do a rising edge detector, which is not this, but it is essentially this over here, which is just the difference is that you use a redstone torch going into it instead of a piece of redstone. And the reason for that is that this wants a pulse, this is a toggle, so you can turn it into a pulse by using a rising edge detector. And that also doubles in that this here only outputs a very weak signal. So we would want to make that signal stronger anyway. And a rising edge detector might be a little expensive. You can also use stuff like swords or something in the dropper, which will extend the signal. Then you can use the length of the signal to distinguish on which item you are on. So that you're only doing the single pulse when one item has gone in and the other has yet to go in. So what happens here is once we get the pulse, the rising edge detector pulses this piston with a single tick pulse. I wish that graphical glitch wouldn't happen. There's like a graphical glitch where if you're standing on the edge of a chunk and you are looking a little bit sideways towards the side chunks, it's not rendering them. But anyways, because this is 1 tick duration, the piston will extend, push the block, and then it will leave the block there because it doesn't have time to pull it back again. That will cause this block to be powered because it's above the redstone torch, which causes this to be powered, which causes this to be unpowered, which flips the direction of the 2 item hoppers. So the items that are in here will then be able to go in here, and once all of them has gone in here, this will turn off, which will turn this on, which will turn this off, which will cause another pulse and thus reset it. So by the amount of items in there, you can fine-tune how long you want the delay to be, essentially. Whoop. So that's it. So I just wanted to add that because I forgot to mention that that was a necessary component in the last part. And I'm actually using a similar circuit in what I will be using for down there as well. Now let's go to town. Alright, so Dark Tunnel. I've updated things. I went away from the idea of the aquarium in here, and the reason for that is twofold. One, the original idea was to have a dark hallway. Two, I thought about the aquarium in order to do the tactical fishing advancement, but good move. But the problem with that is a few. Like, in order to draw benefit of an aquarium, I would need multiple fish. And that's a lot of potential spawns that I'm taking out of the equation just to make a small aquarium. So I decided against that. And also, I had other ways of getting that advancement. And you will see here. Where is it? I don't remember where it is. It's not Minecraft, it's husbandry, tactical fishing. You can see catch a fish without using a fishing rod. I've done that. So that's a thing. So here we are. I've made a few things. I have finished this building. I have not unpacked it yet, as you can see, because I kind of wanted to do that on stream, just because it is quite satisfying to do. But yeah, I made a little bit of use of the of the thingies here, the what are they called, scaffolds, because getting to the roof and stuff was a little annoying. So all right. Now the question is, was that all of them, or did I miss some? That was not the way I wanted to go. Let's have a look here. Missing 3. Now, where did they land? Ow. There's one. That's the one problem with them. They do land all over. I'm a little worried that someone's landed on the roof or something. Well, they did. So that should be all of them. So a little bit of an odd shape here. I decided to go with a double slanted roof. The only problem is that this building is fairly wide, and a double slanted roof will make it extremely tall if I just went straight up. So I've had to do sort of like a double curve to kind of turn that down a little bit. And then I wanted to have a counter here that looked a little weird, so I had to do a few adjustments. I added this roof ridge here, which softened it a little bit. So a little bit of tuning, but made it work. I've also gotten Potzel. Let's toss these in here. So, how are things looking? Well, in here we have our cartography, yeah, that is right, table. Over here in the corner, we have space here in this corner for something. For now, I've just stuck the brewing stand here because I didn't have a place for the cleric yet. It's not going to stay here. But we have the librarian and the cartographer sharing offices here, and we have potential for other space here, but I don't know what to put there yet, because I don't really know what fits with these two. But it is open space for now. Then we have up here a little bit of light. Everything is lit up in the buildings so that they will not be able to spawn any mobs. I'm not worrying so much about the outside yet, like the pathways here and stuff. I will worry about that once I got the buildings done, because there will be some light coming from the buildings and other stuff I need to make with the roads. Some will be street lights, some will be hidden lights. I am planning on using jack-o'-lanterns and jungle leaves to make some bushes and stuff. That is an old trick that I like to use. I think it looks good, and also it is quite convenient. So we have a single, and then we have two doubles. So space for 5 people in there. Then over here we have our smithy, and this is a multi-person workspace. We will have our what is it called, armorer working here. We will have our weaponsmith working here, and in here we'll have our toolsmith working. But only one person actually lives here. The others are kind of dropping in to work. So it is kind of like a company of sort or something. Not really a company, but you know what I mean. But yeah, varying the design a little bit. Here I'm using bone for the corners, and then using jungle wood for the walls. And then over here, this is our stonemason, which was once our leather worker, but I felt a little bad that basically everybody else had gone somewhere in the world except for the leather worker, because we didn't have anything to use them for. So I have made them into a mason. We will have a leather worker again, but a mason was more useful to us because they always sell bricks as part of their initial trades, which means we don't have to go out and dig clay to get bricks for flower pots and for brick blocks, which you can see I've used in the building. So that is good. And in here we have our Fletcher, who is also moved in, and for some reason they really like this corner. They kind of always walk up here and try to get stuck. I don't know why. There's something wonky with their AI, because they favor certain behaviors that does not make any sense, like standing up here, and you can see how difficult it was to push them down again. That's really weird. I'm using mushroom blocks in here, by the way. I had granite to begin with, but I wasn't really happy with it. But the mushroom blocks really works, I think. It's brown mushroom blocks. But you can see here I have some dark oak fence around. That is cheated, in full disclosure. The reason I have it is because of the AI bug. I came over here one day and my librarian was just gone. And I couldn't find him, and I thought that he'd just vanished, and I went online and looked for a an explanation. I found a bug report of disappearing villages, and I found out later that he hadn't disappeared. He had gone mountaineering. I found him later up there, and like they were completely determined to get up this hill up to the top. I was trying to push them down, get them back to town, get them back to their workstation where they're supposed to spend their time, but they were very determined. Every time I got halfway down, they just beeline for the top again. And eventually it was just like the only way to get them down is to basically force them by placing fences in their way, so that the only way they can go is down. And then once I get them down on the ground here, close them into a fence and then make a pipeline that will lead them back to their home. And finally they return. So there's something wonky where every once in a while they will just decide that I am going to China. Really odd. But I'm keeping the dark oak fence. I'm going to remove it once I got the town finished. The problem is that I want a wall around the town for the sake of raiders and monsters. But I need to kind of know the town layout before I can do that. And frankly I didn't want to deal with the villagers walking off because of a bug, so yeah, I put down a temporary cheated in fence. And yeah, light blue sheep, and that's because I needed light blue wool. So I brought them some sheep. And I put down a couple of footprints. We have a footprint here for another building over there, and there's also one up here. Yeah, this is where the old farm plot was. Or one of the farm plots. The only real farm plots, the other are kind of makeshift. So I have certain plans for each of these, and we'll be working a little bit on that tonight. First though, should we... I think let's return home. Eventually I'll also put in some slabs or something there to make the climb a little bit easier. But the problem is, right now I have single block raises, and that means that I would have to use stairs, or I have to do terraforming, and I haven't really decided what to do with that yet. So let's start down here, I think. So this is what I needed the light blue wool for, because I've made a couple of banners. Potential banners for the town. I was just playing around with some stuff, and I was trying to make some nature themed ones. I made a flower and a sunrise / sunset, and also a tree with a sun behind it. So just a few designs. But I think what we will do is we will work on this. And to do that, let's get some stuff. So, we're going to need some redstone. We're going to need a dropper. We're going to need a cactus. Potion shop. Probably also need some nether quartz. Or rather, we will need some nether quartz, I know. And a workbench. Actually, let's bring a few more stones. We also need a piece of sand. And I might have forgotten something, but then we will figure that out. So strip those. You need a single one. Alright, so before we get started, let's hop to a different world. My test world. Because this is what we will be building. So, yeah, that's one thing that I forgot. I forgot a what is it called? A hopper, of course. So, yeah. But yeah, let's see if I can remember this. Actually, let's do it this way instead, so that I don't have to. How did I manage that? Weird. Alright, so now that that is taken care of, this is what we will be building. This is a permanent item disposal, as I said. So you can put items in here, like these 2 eggs, for instance. And the idea is you put items in, and once you are ready, you can pull the lever, and that will make it start disposing of them. And once it is done, then you flip the lever again, and it is ready to take in more things. You can also replace this with this block, the redstone torch, this block here, lever, and the barrel with a trap chest. Because then when you open the chest, the hopper will be powered, so as long as you keep it open, it will not pull items out. But it has some downsides. One downside is that you will be able to see the hopper below it. Another is if you accidentally close the chest, it might just be too late. Therefore, I prefer personally the lever solution. So, the lever lets the hopper pull the items, puts it into the dropper. Because the dropper has items in it, it allows this, what is it called, subtraction clock to run. Hi there, Tycool. And that then pulses it until it is done dropping. So that's how it all works. And this over here, while we are in the world, is the block switcher. You can see right now it has a downwards spiraling bubble pillar. So if you jump into that one, it will pull you down. And the thing with the bubble pillar is you cannot fight this. Like, I cannot swim up unless I am in creative flight. There's no way you can fight that. So that means that you have to be able to get off underway. So we have a 2-part circuit here. We have the block switcher, which is this one. So this is the input point. Once this block is powered, everything starts working. This turns off, that turns these off, that turns these on, that causes the switching to happen. That also turns this one off, which pulses this. This is the same circuit that we showed in the other world. Causes this to extend. It then waits for the items to get moved. Then it pulses itself again, which causes this to be pulsed again, which causes this to switch. So there we go. Bubble pillar has switched. And bubble pillar is switched. Whee! So that's how it works. So that is what I'm thinking of doing, but you can see it is a little needy in height. Like, this will be the floor height, so it needs the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks of space. Not so much this one, because even if that is, what is it called, bedrock, we can still put a torch on it, so that's not a problem. But everything else needs to work. So it all depends on whether or not there is space, how deep we can put it. If you get the right configuration of bedrock, you can put it lower, but otherwise you may have to just put it on top. I'm afraid we can't play together because I can't host games at the moment. Unfortunately, I wish I could, but unfortunately my ISP is blocking me. So I'm not allowed. Basically, they do not support port forwarding, so I'm not completely happy about that. Used to work in the past, but not anymore. I got a new ISP not terribly long ago, and that's when the trouble started. All right. Let's get a little bit of space made. So this will be the position where we put the dropper. We need to, of course, put it the other way. Can we do that smart? Not really. Okay, I think that works. Okay, so that needs to be open space. Then we have the cactus, the sand, and then below that will be the a stone block. So open space, cactus, sand, then stone, sand. We need to have open space on the sides of the cactus, otherwise it can't grow. So, like that, then we can place the cactus. Just gonna do it to demonstrate. Essentially how it works is, as long as there's open space on all four sides, the cactus can be placed there. But since there is a block here, or on either of the sides, the cactus cannot grow further, so this will always be open space. I'm not gonna place the cactus yet, because there is the problem that if we start dropping things accidentally, then all of a sudden things will get destroyed. We don't want that. So let's get things put in first. So let's put that there. Then we need to put a block. We need a redstone torch. Don't need to shift so much. Alright, so that takes care of the dropper. At this point it will not drop anything as long as this is powered. Basically, as long as this one is on, this is off. So we need to flip the lever to make it work. Alright, so then we need to put in the circuit. The question is how much space I want to clear. This one here needs to be one of those. For the sake of it. Why did you update? Why did you update? That makes no sense. Okay. that is the delight of butt powering, I think. Actually, it isn't butt powering. It is what the hell is that term? Like, the problem is that there is, like, because there is a powered block on a side that shouldn't power it, for some reason there is a bug that causes it to be powered anyway. And that's really weird. But it's a thing. I want those. Okay, so let's put that there. This does not have a collision box, so it will not do anything to cause trouble. And we should be able to put in the cactus now. And put in that there. The torch is there to what is it called? To prevent spawns and stuff. They can't spawn there. There's no space. But also, in case anything changes, small things happen. Like once pistons let light through, they don't do that anymore. I think the hoppers, however, do. I'm not entirely sure there. But light updates is one of the most laggy things in Minecraft, so we want to avoid having light updates if we can. So we need to have some light in here, and I think what we will do is we will open this up here, even though we technically don't need this space. Then we also go up here, because then we can put this here, and this should be enough to cover everything. Yeah, I think so. It should cover everything. A redstone torch has a light level of 8, I think, if I remember correctly. So if we are above 8, or at least 8 everywhere, it's either 7 or 8, I can't remember, but if we have at least that light, there won't happen a light update because the torch will overpower it. So that is what we want. So 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9. So that should not cause an update. So these will go there, and then we can still... we can reach there either way, but we need a redstone dust there, a block. And then I'm wondering if we can actually place this here, because it does have a little bit of a collision box. Okay. We need a repeater. We need a comparator. Comparator goes here. Comparator needs to be in subtract mode for it to work. Otherwise it won't, because how this works is essentially the comparator sends a signal through, which is then sent back here. Because it is in subtract mode, once it gets a signal from the side, it subtracts the signal from the side from the signal coming in, which causes it to flip the signal, so the signal becomes negative. So it turns it off again. Because it then becomes off, this becomes the more powerful signal, and then it turns on again. So that's what creates the timer. You can make it really short by doing that. We don't have an item in there at the moment, so it doesn't do anything, but that will cause this to loop, but it does it so quickly that it does not work. That is the problem. So we need to have a repeater here in order for it to work. So now we take those out before I lose them. But yeah, you can see here, if we have items in there, causes this to run. So the only thing we need to do now is we need to actually engage this. And we do that by not placing stone here, we place this. A little bit of a waste, but oh well. And we put that up there. So now that will power this block, which will power the dispenser. And because there is the delay, it will work. Otherwise, if it is just the comparator, it pulls so quick that the not the dispenser, the dropper can't keep up with it. The reason we use a dropper, you can use a dispenser, but if you, for instance, wanted to dispense something like eggs or arrows, arrows would be shot by a dispenser, which causes a lot of entities that then has to despawn. And similarly, a dispenser would toss out the eggs and spawn chickens, and that would cause also issues. So, okay. I'm glad Moo's here. So that is everything. Let's just double check everything. Yeah, should be fine. So now we just need to cover the circuit. This has a filler, so we can put stuff on top. So now this should work. The only problem is now we should technically test it, but is there anything I want to burn? That is a good question. Let's put stuff into the chest. Let's keep the workbench on us for a little bit. That might actually be useful. Well, I know one thing I have way too much of, and that is saddles. I don't usually like to destroy things, but for the sake of testing, like you can see, I don't like destroying things, but I have way too many saddles. I will never need that many. It is way too many. So we put them in. Once we are happy, we can engage with this as many times as we want, but it won't do anything until we pull this lever. So when we do that, and now it's done disposing of them, then we can turn it on again, or turn it off again, and it's done. So that is how it works. Alright. Technical things. Let's do more technical things. Let's see. What do we need? What do we need? I think we're gonna need some glass. It's not glass. Glass is in here. Let's bring these. Let's bring that just in case. I forgot my bucket over in a thing where I used a bucket. Get that back. I need the water in it anyway, so I might as well save that. Wood. I need wood. Question if I should use different than spruce. Maybe I should use birch just because I tend to use birch plank or birch signs elsewhere. Let's use that. Alright, let's get to it. So here we are. I prepared a few things over here. So this is the spider spawner that I talked about. I showed it, I think I showed it last stream, or was it the stream before? I've made a little bit of preparation here to get this into a working spawner. I don't know if the design still works, so we will see. But yeah, we will see. One thing we did forget is the stone cutter that I need to borrow. Just borrow it from here when I need it. Alright, that's just because then the stone cutter is nice because we can cut stone directly into slabs or into bricks, and we don't have to make a group of 4 for it. So we don't have leftover stone unless we want to, essentially. So the first thing we want to do is we want to get this worked out. So the layout I have here with the lamps is made so that this room, once the lamps are on, torches will not be needed. Then this cannot run. So if we get that working, then we're good. So that is the goal. I should really, just for good measure, put down those. It's taking way too long. So let's speed things up a little bit. When I'm just playing on my own time, I usually just use stone tools. Just doesn't really lose valuable resources. But might as well speed it up a little bit. Alright. As long as we need more, there's no sense in using the stone cutter, but until then, let's get ourselves some redstone. Before we can't see the corner anymore. I talked about it before, I use stone brick underneath redstone because if something happens, I can still replace it. Like I can see, well, stone brick, so redstone was on it. Alright, so let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 13, 14, 15 should be perfect. Let's double check. Yes, should be good. And it should not last any longer. Nope. The reason it is perfect is because of the distance, essentially. It can reach 15 blocks, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So it is just convenient that we can have the repeater here and then carry on the signal. Let's move this back one more. Alright, I need more stone. I'm planning to close up this entryway and then have like a ladder down or something. That's at least a plan. So there we go. Let's just fill this in. Close that off. So if we flip the lever, everything turns off, everything turns on. Now we should be able to remove these. Am I confident in my counting? Maybe. So, they should cover everything in the room. The spawner can spawn in an 8x8 area. How it is centered depends on which direction. I can see we're in double negative here. So double negative, you need to add 1. Normally a chunk would run from 1 to 50 or from 0 to 15, but it is 1 larger here because this starts from -1 and then goes to -16. So you need to factor that in. But I'm making it a 9x9 for various reasons. 9x9 because it is easier in regards to having to figure it out, so there will be some empty space, but also if we say this is the extreme edge it could spawn, then it can't spawn here. It could only spawn here. So by making it 9x9 we still have the benefit in the direction where it doesn't matter, if that makes any sense. The thing is that a spider actually requires quite a large area to spawn. If it spawns on this block here, it will require all these blocks to also be empty, as well as the blocks above. So it's actually difficult to spawn a spider. So if it tries to spawn here, for instance, well, this is not an open block, so I can't do that. Also, a spawner can spawn 1 block below, same level or above, which is why we have the slab, so it can't spawn on top of it. They might still spawn and then end up trying to climb up the side of the spawner, because it is a slab. They should then climb over and drop down again. Is the hope. There is the potential that they could potentially get trapped up at the top here, and if that happens, well, we're in trouble. So, yeah, we'll have to deal with that. But, let's get some stuff filled in. So, this space here is only 1 high, so we don't need to worry about monsters spawning in there. We don't need to worry about light. If you have 2 high, then you should make sure that you put some light in there. But we don't need, in this case, to worry about it. Oops. So now we need to think about things. This here is 9 long, so let's see, we will have a block there. We need to have some signs. I don't know why I brought one block. We're never going to use that one block. It's not the smartest. So we'll make some more while we're at it. Gonna need more than that, but let's start with that. So we have that. I had the dispenser sound again. I was like, wait, block update from here. But no, it's just a button. So we have this here so that the water can start here. Spiders, while they need a 3x3 to spawn, they are only a 2x2x1. So if we have a water starting here, pushing it 8 blocks, then we're good. We don't need to worry about that. So let's get some more blocks. So we have some way of getting out of here. You can't right click on a sign anymore, so you need to shift right click now. No, I don't want random letters on my signs. Okay, we're gonna need some more. Okay, that is enough. There we go, then we need the water bucket. So if we put water there, it reaches exactly that far. And this is where spiders are both nice and annoying, because spiders have the annoying tendency that if they hit a wall, they go to the ceiling. So we want to keep them in this little crevice and keep them moving. But if we place a sign here to avoid backflow, then we can put another bucket here and move them another 8 blocks. So that is what we will do now. And of course I broke the one block that it was on, damn it. Give me some more blocks. Signs do not have collision, so that is why we're using them. There's other options like ladders, but ladders can't be placed on ladders, so can't really use those. But signs can. Alright. And the question then is how far we want to move them. We need to be within 16 blocks of the spawner for it to actually be activated. So that needs to be taken into account. There's other factors, however, because as long as there is 6 mobs inside the 9x9 area around the spawner will not spawn anymore. So we need to move them out as quickly as possible. So let's see, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this would be the maximum stretch. So over here the spawner is still active, so we might as well make use of the length. We could move it one more because again 2x2. So let's get some more blocks. Let's also actually let's put some blocks behind here as well. I like when I have active water flows to have it in a trench, so have blocks behind there to like show. Don't break this without knowing what the hell it is, please. Alright, so here we're gonna move the torch so I can break this and see a little bit more. See, now I'm unsure if I want to go in and put signs on all of those. I don't need to. I think I don't want to. Because it does have the benefit that if I don't, the water will flow in this direction out towards, which will push them towards me. But I do need more space above, so let's take these out. Alright, water. Should be good, just for the sake of it, before we break something. Yep, so that is safe. So, because it can flow in this direction, it causes a diagonal flow instead, which will push the spiders towards this corner, which is what we want. So, most of this I'm winging. I have not done this in quite a while. I want to keep them down. I don't know why I keep going over here. So here. So the thing is, once the spiders get moved down here, we want to move them up. And the reason for that is if they stay at this level here, they will pile up in the pathway here. And then they will eventually just get stuck inside this room. So what we want to do is we want to have a little room here, 2x2, where they will go up. And they might not do it on their own accord, they might need a helping paw. But we will see. What space is bothering me? Just for the looks. Actually, don't technically need more than 3, so let's cut the exact amount. There we go. So that should technically be all we need. This here should not cause problems. Might cause some issues. Let's see, 14. Whoops. It was not intentional. Oh, we have a spider in there. Sorry, I didn't mean to disturb. Oi. How can you hit me through that? That's cheaty. Cheeky spider. Will we come down here? Hi. Will you go up on your own? So I might need a bit of a knock to do it, but it's okay. So let's just check here. So a little bit of light might leak in there. Should be okay. It will be a minimal effect. I need to basically do a little bit of work towards the outside of the room here, because like I would like to be able to look in there, so I want to have a window up here, for instance, which means that this needs to be replaced probably. So let's see. Actually, we can't do it now because then we would have to do the outside room. But what I need to do essentially is, this will be closed up now with stone, but eventually what I will do is I will put a window in here, I will put a dark room here so you can actually look inside without affecting it, and this down here will also have the right amount of light so that the light will not leak into the active spawn spaces. But for now, for the sake of testing, let's keep it to what it is. We need to have some water. The reason it is also the size is that 9 by 9 means that the 9th block is the stairs, so that means that the water will reach exactly 8 blocks, which is the length of a water, hit the stairs and then push them up into it. So there we go. So now we have the flow. Generally when you do mob spawners, you only ever want to push them in one direction. If you're trying to get them to go towards one point from multiple directions, they will start pushing each other and will never go there. So we try to move all of them down here and then move all of them in that direction. See, that's why I brought 8 stacks of stone over here, because it goes a lot faster than you expect. I think we should be safe with 8. Not save as in done, but save as in I won't... It's a little redundant because I do need to remove some of them anyway, so we'll end up with excess stone, but nevertheless... I don't need one, but putting one anyway because of paranoia. Alright, we should be ready. As long as I actually removed all the torches in there, and now I'm unsure. Yeah, they look to be good. So if I flick the lever, it should start working. Now we just wait and see. Hoi, spider. Oh, they even gather nicely. There's one that is doing a little bit of bouncy. trying to hit you. The bounciness makes me think that they're dancing to the music. Also, the nice thing about the cross flow here, the diagonal flow, is that we can place a, what's it called, a dropper there, not a dropper, a hopper. Collect the items so we don't actually need to go close to the spiders, because at this point, in order to pick them up, we need to either take a hit or turn off and clear out the spawner. So I think that will be the next thing we do. Ah, I know what that is. It is a spider jockey, and a skeleton is taking suffocation damage. There we go. Bounce. So, let's take out this one. And then we will replace that. So we could place it like that, for instance. Let's just keep the stuff on us for now. Dun, dun, dun. Bam, bam. Alright, this is the side that we want. We're probably not going to need a double chest, but just for the sake of it, it is nice to have if you need the extra, or if you eventually need the extra space. But it doesn't hurt since we have the extra chests anyway. Did that go in the right way? Yeah. Good. So, let's check again. We'll probably also put a, what is it called, a lamp or something up there, because then we will, without affecting the room, be able to see if it is going a little better. But I need to decide on that, because it depends on how we make the dark room. Hi. But yeah, sometimes when the spider spawns, it will spawn as a spider jockey, which means that a skeleton rides on top of it, so that is why skeletons might also appear here. It will be a rare thing, but it does happen. And usually they end up dying from suffocation damage, because they just get ground into the ceiling. That also happens on a normal spawner. You don't need to do anything about it, because they climb to the ceiling. Then the poor skeleton gets ground. Now, there is the question of max entity cramming. I think it is default 24. You can change it in the game rules, but if you play vanilla. So eventually they will start taking damage because there is too many, so you want to kill them little by little. Though I don't know if they actually drop anything if they die from it, so you could potentially have like an auto kill that way just by them killing themselves. Turn it off. The slight build-up can be reduced further by making this room one higher still, because then you don't have the little bouncy. But it doesn't cause too much problems. It depends on how many you want to be able to collect, maybe. See that the water flow there does cause a little bit of a buildup of items. So we're going to have to put a hopper there as well to avoid that. Or move the collection chamber one over. I think that would be enough. Let's double check. Yeah. So it's only because it reaches max length here, max length here, that it starts flowing in this direction. Otherwise, it wouldn't. So we could avoid it by moving it back one. Whether or not we should do that is the question. For the sake of demonstration. So put that there. Let's also, while we're at it, you can also hear that we don't have any piled up inside of the room because we don't have any spider sounds now. So we'll do that. So that should be the reformatting. Did I get the bottom there? I did not. There we go. Let's get the torch back. Let's fill this hole because it bothers me. Alright, we should be ready for probably the last test. Don't think we will need to make further adjustments. Let's get that started, and then I will make an axe. Let's just keep it at 1. Oh, I think that's a regeneration spider. It has wibbly wobblies. That one there, that one is definitely a regeneration spider. But yeah, less build up, less bouncy. So I think I'm happy with the design now, except for the light leaking and the lack of a window. Back in the day you would be able to use half slabs and then that would cut off the light, but half slabs actually do not prevent light flowing through anymore. It will prevent light from flowing through if it makes sense that it's covering. So if you have light coming up from the floor and it's a down slab sitting on top of it with all blocks around, it would stop it. But from the side it never blocks. Let's just turn it off. I think we have enough to prove the point. One didn't land on the hopper. Alright. That's right, we can go in them now. Alright. Project done. I will clean up this stuff later. I will take these and the redstone back with me though. Actually, let's just take everything. There's no sense in leaving it. I'm shift clicking everything now. Alright, 1 spider spawner. So, to summarize what I need to do, I need to close off this path so you can't get in that way, make a dark room, make a window, make a room down there where I have made sure that the room is lit so nothing can spawn in the room out here, but that the light is not strong enough to get inside the room. It wouldn't be a problem back in the day, because before I think 1.13 water would decrease light by 2 levels, so it would be 14, 12, 10, 8 already there, it would be too low. But now it doesn't, so yeah, now you need to take that into account. But I'm happy with what we did so far. The rest is just small fine-tuning and quality of life things. We don't need to do that now. keep accidentally doing that. This I don't need. All right. Are we doing? No. We should be okay. So, that is the technical side of things taken care of. Now let's do a little bit of creative stuff. So I wanted to continue a little bit on the town over here. So I'll probably be moving the town square over here. We have the bell over there, but honestly it's a weird place to have the town square. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to move it over here. The only problem is I don't know what will happen to the villagers when I do that, because I don't think it's technically a village without having the bell. So if I move the bell, then will the village get recreated, or what happens? Will they still recognize it? I don't really know. But anyways, let's build a little bit here. Alright, so let's see what we need. I need some birch. I will also need some spruce. I will need some dark oak. We'll definitely need some acacia. I'll need some stone. I can probably pick up when we realize we need it. I think I will take the bell out and then put a house here instead. This will also go away and have a house there. This will probably go away. The problem is that I need a border around the village, because this here, this is a river which comes in this way. This has just like crossed the river, but this is a river biome. So this can actually spawn, what is it called, drown, which can come up and cause trouble. So I kind of want to border off the water in a way that they won't be able to do that. But also make a little bit more sense about the structure, because this building in here, that's going to cause issues. Yeah. I donated an anvil to the town as well, slightly damaged. The reason I picked a slightly damaged one, I didn't want a completely damaged one, but a slightly damaged one, I felt like it seems used, so seems like a good thing. Actually, I did want to bring a magma block over, so let's grab one before I get really started here. I would have brought it here earlier, but the problem is that magma blocks damage anything. Hi Sean, what is it called, the broken anvil? Or damaged anvil? Yeah. I like the look of it. This one. We also need to get some more villagers in the town. Right now they can't actually breed because I have the mob griefing turned off. But I will turn that on. I just wanted to get the town a little bit more finished before I did it. Really, the only one that's getting screwed because of that is me, because it means that there's fewer people to trade with, and it also means that a lot of trades go to waste, quote unquote. So, I was only limiting myself, really. Let's take these. Do I need those? Not really. I'm just going to fill my inventory. Alright, so over here, let's get this down first. I wanted that. This. Nope. There we go. Now it is safe. So now they can't walk over it, but I didn't want to start building that while they were still walking around freely. I think I forgot to close the door. Alright. And we also have moved the things because these were just over here and being used before, but now they're actually integral parts of the town, which is quite nice. So we just need to make a fireplace. Oh yeah, the foxes are in this version too. They're just a little difficult to find. They are in taiga biomes. But wolves hunt them, and wolves are also in taiga biomes, so like sheep and stuff, you have to be a little lucky. But yeah, they're cute. You can not tame them, but you can get them to be like passive towards you. What you need to do, I think, is, as far as I understand it, is a grown or a naturally spawned fox will never trust you. But if you have two grown-up foxes, you can sneak up to them with berries, and then you can give them berries, and then they will breed together, and their cub, once it grows up, will trust you. As long as it's a cub, it will, however, follow its parent, even if the parent runs away from you. So that might make it a problem. But once they then grow up, then you could potentially take them with you. Just make sure that you bring them somewhere where like wolves, wild wolves couldn't get to them. And you can leash them, so that will help. Let's see. Let's bring some jungle. Also gonna need some more stairs. Wait, that was rude. Seriously? So we're gonna continue, like we're gonna use some different aspects, like the entryway. I always use the dark oak for the border there. So we're using some common signs, but then mixing it up elsewhere. Like this one has a different wall to this one and so on. So that's the plan. Actually, might as well bring the doors that we have made. That's not how those work. There we go. All right. See here, we want the door to go this way, so then I don't have to double place it, waste a little durability. Sadly I can't really play, what is it called, console versions myself. I have the phone version of it, and the phone version is definitely worse than a console version. The reason I can't do it is because, like, any game with like an advanced inventory, I can't do it. I can't wrap my head around it. It doesn't work. Okay, so the question is, do we want them to flip to the center or do we want them to flip out? I think we want them to flip out. I think that's what we want. So what are these buildings going to be? This is going to be a chapel of sorts. So this will be where the cleric will live. It'll be sort of chapel-ish, and probably have pews and stuff. I haven't quite decided on what they should worship. The only real idea I've had is cake. This one here, you see I've had a weird thing in the center here. This will be a dining hall, because they don't have a dining table. They have a dining table, they have a dining table. But they have a very small dining table for only one person. This is a one-person house, so a one-person dining table is fine. But like, I feel like the community needs a place to have their din-dins, so that will be here. So first make the berry border. This should not go there. All right. So how do we want this to be placed? Alright, I'm gonna need some oak in a second. I do really want to see the different versions of Minecraft like meet up more than they do currently, because like there's different things. What is it called? Like the Bedrock edition, for instance, has a thing that I've wanted for a long time, which I actually started modding into Minecraft a long time ago, and that is cauldrons. You can put dye in cauldrons, and then you can use dye more efficiently. So essentially, instead of dyeing armor, you then put dye in a cauldron, and then you have 3 charges out of a single dye. So you can have like a dye shop where you have all 16 vats of dye, and you can go through them as you want. And that's just nice. So I made that work in modded, but I can't really motivate myself to keep that maintained, so... Okay, question is... I think... this... just for the sake of a different pattern. Okay, then we need at least 4 thingies. Actually, 1 is enough. Let's see how many we're missing. Also made a little well, by the way. You've probably seen it 15 times already. And there can potentially also be a chair at the end if we want to, but I think this is good for now. And then I think down here we want to have some stuff. So, do we have enough? Yes. There we go. So we want to have a little bit of a kitchen here. I think I do want... A little weird to do the inside decorations like before anything else. Well, that's okay. I'm gonna need to go up one more at least. Let's keep it at that level though. Let us also... It's gonna be a lot of me saying weird noises. Just in case we need them for getting up and down, they're quite nice. I actually used them quite a bit also on the interior there. Going up and down, fixing the inside of the roof and stuff. Because I do go in, like, we can take a look in here, it's a little easier, but like, making the inside of the roof also look nice is important. So I actually do the bottom. I also decided to use nether brick, or rather red nether brick, but making all the houses with red nether brick roofs seemed like it would look weird, so I decided to make that I would make some of them with regular nether brick. Alright. So the question is here, we're using these for the corners, so we don't want to use those for the walls. So what should we use for the walls? It's a good question. This here used to be a different block. Reconsider. Reroll decision. Wrong. All right, and I think we want the walls to be either oak or spruce. I think spruce. Let's get the dark oak in first. It's also on purpose, by the way, in case you're wondering. This side here, you can see I haven't, like on a lot of other houses, I have put the wall one in from the spruce pillars, but it's on purpose here that I haven't gone too far out. Otherwise I would have to push the wall here in one more, but I wanted a little bit more space on the inside, and I also wanted only to have the one out on the far ends here, so it's a design decision. So let's see here. Let's see. I think it works. This one needs to go there. This one over here, however, maybe it's just a regular log. Bum, 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 ba-dum, bum. Yeah, I think it fits. It gives it a little bit more of a log cabin feel, not log cabin as in an actual log cabin, but like a up in the hills sort of place is kind of what I want, like a cozy place where you hide from the cold, even though here it's pretty damn warm. Just a feel. I need more spruce. No, actually, maybe had some made. All right. All right, we need to think a little bit about the roof now. I'm going to use red nether brick. So we want to be able to have a window there, so that kind of puts a limiter on where we can put things. Alright, so that means that we need to go up one more. It'll be there. It's yeah. It should not be a slab, it should be a stair. Whoops. All right. So let's see, for now we need 3 more of those. That is fine. Prefer to cut them a few at a time just to avoid like extra waste. It isn't super important, it will be used eventually anyway, but I'm a little, yeah, you know. Come on. All right. See, and then there's the question of the central bit, because we kind of have 2 options. Either we can like start it at the same level as the outside here, or we can start it at a higher level. I'm not sure which I would prefer. I think I want to put it higher. So let's see. I forgot the spruce. Like, I want to essentially have like a small roof in either end, and then like have a roof that reaches up higher in the center. That's the goal. But the question is how high it should reach. I think I want to go at least 1 more block up. We can also have a taller window in here, which would be nice. Just to pull everything a little bit more together in the center. I don't know if we should go up one there. is where they become useful. Okay, so let's see here. So the question is if we should start it like this or if we should go up directly. I feel like we should start it like this and then potentially do a increased rise like I've done over there if we do want it to go up further, which I think we do. Just because I think if we don't do this side it would mismatch with the sides here. So let's just try. I want to go in one more. Break at this point. It will be tall. But I think it will fit. I think I like it. I think I like that. Like I want a little bit of wall visible up there, which is the goal. I lost count. Let's see, this should be the block, I think. That should be. That was wrong. Up, out, up. Okay, let's make sure we got that. Looks good. But also if I want to make like a kind of like a skylight similar to that there, like out from this side, but that might be a little too much, so I'm gonna keep it simple to begin with. Let's see, how many do we need here? Probably about 10. Might as well cut a few more stairs, I'm gonna need them. It's not intended. It was always the plan to, like this tree I have I had a tree that was a little bit closer here and would be completely in the way. And then I cut it down and regrew it and cut it down and regrew it, and I knew that this would like get a little bit into the house, but I kind of like where the trees sort of overlap the house a little bit. So it is intentional that I am doing a few leaf breakings. About exactly 10 it looks like. Alright. So then we can essentially fill in the roof. The only problem is I don't think I have enough blocks, so I will have to get more. Just use up the ones that we have. What I do when I make the roof is that I fill in the outside first, so I don't worry about the inside here, except if it is in a place like this where if I want to make the wall further in, like here for instance, here I will fill it in because I know that I want the wall at this level. But for the others I only worry about the top layer, and then once I have the roof done and I have the walls done, then I can worry about the roof. Okay, so we are out. So let's return home for a moment. I am gonna need more. In general, I think I have 8 stacks of nether bricks cooked. The brick, not brick, but I need to get some more. The problem is that the nether brick eats a lot of them. Say that again. There we go. Do we have enough grown over here? Let's reharvest that. Because I saw that in case we need more, I don't have enough to make another 2 stacks, so if we could harvest, which we could, then I would have enough nether wart to be able to do 2 more if we need it. But I'm gonna wait with doing it, because if we are going to end up needing nether brick instead of red nether brick, then I want to have the others available. I need to go and mine some more netherrack. It's just a little annoying to do because you do have to watch out for lava all the time, or rather magma. So that means that I'm not bringing my diamond tools to farm netherrack. I'm not bringing very much at all other than stone tools. It's way too risky. Alright. We are going to need a lot, so let's just make 32. Which is probably not even enough, or rather I am fairly certain it is not enough, but it will get us started. Place the last one. We're already through it. We're not even through this side. Crazy. Sorry. I still don't know what to really use. I think another 16 would be okay. We'll need it for the inside anyway, so it's not really super important. Alright, we're getting close. Now we need to decide what to do here. I don't think we're even going to have enough for this building. That's crazy. I keep saying crazy. I'm trying to get that out of my vocabulary, but I just don't have an alternative. Hi there, Master Justin. Okay. We're not going to have enough. Let's see how close we are, though. That's going to be annoying to place. Okay, next level we can do. Alright, 16 should be enough. Let's just make a single stack. Again, just in case, and because things are now getting pretty dark in here, let's put up some light. Just in case. I don't want a zombie to spawn in and then murder all the villagers. Hey there, Ben. Oh, oi. It reminds me of Mongrels. If you haven't seen Mongrels. Ah, thank you. I played a little bit, so I've learned a couple tricks here and there. I have a few things that I like to do when I'm building, but it's always fun to try something new. Like when I did my YouTube series, I used to do I was doing a lot of abnormal shapes. To pick up the right amount. I was working with circles at that point. That was very fun. I want to do that again at some point, but first I want to finish the village project. I was talking about the jungle trees over on the opposite side of the village. I still want to do something there, and I'm thinking circles would be a brilliant thing. But generally, I like to work with depth. I like to work with weird contrasts. And I like to work with a mix of textures. Like here you have a very defined square, while in the others here it is very open. I still like that there is a texture. You can see over on the corners that I haven't used a lot of texture. But again, mixing texture with no texture and defined encapsulated textures with open textures is a good way to go about things. Well, you're welcome to be here. I'm just doing a little bit of like Friday enjoyment. Nothing too fancy. Trying to do a little bit. Wanted to get some more work done here because the problem with doing... Oh, thank you. A Minecraft veteran. I don't know. Maybe. Started back in beta. Talked about it last time. Like I started in the beta somewhere around the Halloween update. I think the Halloween update had hit at the time. This doesn't need to be a stair. This needs to be something else. So I was somewhere around there, and I was going to uni at the time, and I heard about Minecraft, and at first I was like many others, skeptical, like, sounds weird. But it won me over because of the redstone. I like redstone. Like, I was studying digital electronics at the time, and then this game comes along that is, what is it called? It's essentially digital electronics in a game, and I was like, ooh, yeah, I want that. So I was kind of sold at that point. Then like many others, I watched videos and stuff, and I started watching specific people. I joined a server with other people. Some of them did videos because it came from a video producing server, and then I started doing videos myself, and it was nice. So started doing videos on that server, and I continued doing that, but at some point I had to stop because I couldn't pay for membership of the server, so that's how things go. And got a little, not demotivated, but just kind of tired. Question is here, should we open it up? We could have a larger window on that side, but I'm not sure I want to. Okay. I think at this point I want to use acacia. Or maybe birch. Birch would have to be cut though, because I don't care so much for the bark texture. So I've been a little bit there and back again. Sure, let's try regular oak. It's a little bland, but perhaps bland is what will fit. I think that is better. Alright. Question is, how far up do we want this here? Do we want it all the way up at that point? Probably depend on how it looks on the outside, so let's put it on the opposite side of it so I can actually see it. That was the wrong stack. Alright, let's have a look. Yeah, I think if we put it up higher, then we won't be able to see it probably from the outside, so this is a good level. Okay, so let's see here. What do we want to use? I kind of think just regular oak would be best. I have to consider the inside of the roof. It's also possible to do something like that. Then we have a little bit of a window without actually having a window. That could look good. There's my oak. Okay. Boom, boom. Good. All right. I'm tempted to make this out of birch or something, but I think it would look like, the problem with the birch is that it would be too close to the floor, so it would draw attention away from the floor, and I don't want that. And then jungle would also be an option, but it is too close to the acacia, so I think it would clash. Spruce and dark oak are both too dark, so in the end we end up at the oak, but the oak is also nice. This might need to get changed to something that isn't oak, probably spruce or maybe dark oak, both stripped. Okay, now we need to see if I have any fences made. I can't remember. I have one. It's not many. I am running out of not running out of inventory space, first of all. I'm running out of what is it called? Words? I'm running out of sticks. What am I looking for? I'm looking for in here. This we don't need anymore, this we don't need anymore. There we go. I'll give a few more sticks, not many, but a couple. That's not going to be enough. Is that too tall? Can also make it wider. I think it looks better tall than wide. Oh. There we go. I'm gonna need more fences, which means I need more sticks. I don't want to break down my wood. I'm gonna have to. No, that is not what I wanted. Silvershade is just a name. We'll come back more. It's a name like any other. Alright, that should be that done. Oh, didn't put the top over there. A block. Bumps. There we go. I think I like that. All right. Don't need to finish the sides. And that will go very quickly. It is very simply boop, 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 boop. And then bap, 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 bap. Bap, 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 bap. And there we go. Then we just need to have some glass in, which I don't have with me, but that will just be like the other buildings. I'll use the lime glass because I like it. It looks nice. Other than that, we just need a few more decorations. I think similar to what I did back home. Like this violin bit. I'll do a pressure plate. Let's stick this back in here just to clear some inventory space. And That will go on there. And then we need the inside of the roof, but I don't really have enough to finish that. We can do what I can though. Well, that means that we can't really do the roof of another building that uses it, but let's see what we can do. Better to fully finish one building than make two half-assed. See, we might just do a full block here. Don't have the space to do a proper chimney, so we'll do that. And we might also just replace this. So let's do that. I do not have inventory space. Actually, instead of doing a torch, let's do this. Damn it. Bugger. Come on. Damn it. Oh, I can't get back inside. Damn it. Okay, we can get in here. Okay, we need to dump some stuff. This can go in there. We're not going to need this anymore for a little bit. Let's get back before it despawns. I will also go through, like you saw on the other houses there, I put in some mossy cobble, and I will do the same on these ones. It's just easier to get them done first and then go in and correct it afterwards. Because it also depends on the landscape. Like if you see here, for instance, well, you don't see it so much anymore because I put this in the way, but there was mossy there, nothing in the middle, and that's because mossy grow up against there and up against there, but not so much in the center. So I sort of use the terrain a little bit as inspiration for that. Alright, so where did we get to? We got to roof. And then I need a spruce fence, and we have one made, I think, which is not enough. One made. Like that. Doop, doop. There we go. So we have a little bit of a chimney. Let's put this other spruce fence away, because otherwise it's going to fill inventory space. I think here either we want something up there or we want something there. Kind of like that most. bum bum. Oak, stick. Oh, this is in the way. Da, ba, da, da. Can't really get to the other one. And what I want to do with those is I want to hang some lights, because I think it could look nice. And the last one. All right. So, well, there's the smoker. That's one more job station taken care of. Let's see. We want to have some more stuff. We're not going to have enough, unfortunately. And I won't be able to get that done tonight because I need to go to the Nether and gather up some more stuff. Come on. Okay, that's all we're gonna get. So I'll finish the rest of that off camera. We probably won't be able to really get properly started on another building, but we might be able to get somewhere with this one. Let's put some tables in the corners. Also need to figure out the lighting in here so that it's taken care of. But that's a lot of me counting and stuff. Like we could have stuff like that. That of course requires... No, actually it doesn't. The roof will make sure nothing can spawn there. So with that we could have some flower pots up there. Some flower pots down here. And then over here probably have something. Like I'm thinking in Viking houses and stuff, you had like you had a lock pile at the door, and essentially when people showed up, they would sit on the lock pile and wait to be invited inside. So something similar. Okay, so these. And we won't be able to put one on the last side because it's partially covered. At least I don't think so, but let's have a look. Yeah, see, the part where we would have it would be covered by the hill. It's okay. Interesting. I wasn't sure if the trapdoor would destroy the path, since it's technically not attached to the path. That is good to know. So we'll put some flowers in that. Again, that requires me fiddling, so we're going to wait with that. We need a lamp also at the door, like we have at the others. I'd like to have one at each door. But that's not super important. Bought a few bricks from our friend the mason. I'm also not completely sure I want flowers in all of the corners here. Like I might also, for instance, put a lamp here, a lamp here, a lamp there, and a lamp there, so that it like cross covers. But I have to count out how the lighting is in the room, but we'll just put them there for now. This one will probably have to be a lamp, I think. I don't think these could reach far enough. No, they could not. This would be 8 even if it's situated there, so this would have to be a lamp. And then on the table I'll probably put some stuff as well. I'm thinking some cakes. Some cakes and some flowers. So that is that house mostly done. Not entirely, but mostly. And once we get the windows in, it'll look nicer. So I'm kind of debating whether or not to call it, because it is getting fairly late. I think we'll at least get started on this building over here. Not terribly much, like we're going to work on the floor or something. This is going to be a barn. So the footprints we have is a dining hall or community dining quarters, and then up there we have the chapel, is what I called it. And then this here will be a barn. This will be where our farmers will be working. And what I'm thinking is I want out here, because one of the problems is that we need water for the farm, and just having random water, it frankly looks weird. So what I want to do is I want to make sort of a pump system out here. I'm even thinking of doing some like some pistons or something that like moves every now and then. That might be overkilling it. I'm a little worried that it's gonna cause trouble because it is running redstone in spawn chunks, so might not be what I end up doing. But like doing an engine or something that is pumping water up from this here up into a wooden reservoir, and then have like a viaduct that is leading the water in, and then have like water falling down, and then have it running in streams. What I'm thinking of doing, do I have any half slabs that I can show? I do. I have a lot of half slabs. That is brilliant. So the problem is, if we have 1 block high things, then they will jump on things and break things. So that is not what we want. So what we could do, what I am thinking or planning of doing, is if we have something like this. So let's do that. So normally if we are here and we have a bucket of water, it goes 8 blocks. So we can do that. So I broke the water. So if we do like this, we have here a stream that is not tall enough that they will be jumping on things. It still looks like running water. It looks like a viaduct because of the wood that is underneath. So I think if I have water falling into that and then like running through it, it will look like a really nice farm. So that way we can extend it beyond the normal 8 blocks. It still looks nice. We can extend it as long as we want. It still looks nice. And yeah, that's the plan. So okay. Can't put more than 1 bucket into it. That is a problem. There we go. So yeah, that's my plan with it. It's gonna be 1 short. I knew it. We do a similar sort of pattern. We could move this like we did in the other one, but I don't think that will look so nice. Then for the flooring here, I think we want to use something dark, because this is a barn. So this is where we store a bunch of wheat and stuff. It's usually not the best well-lit place. I think a dark look would be nice for it. Could potentially question mark mix it up a little so that the entranceway is a little lighter, and then we have the center of the room darker. I think that could be nice. I think I like that. I don't know why, but I really like this tune. It's silly. All right, so corners are going to give us issues, but we will figure that out once we get to it. Oops. Because over here, for instance, we want this one here to go out this way. But that might make the inside here look weird. I think it's actually going to be okay. So if we have this go there, then this go here. There will be the side of the log there, but I think because we have the pillar there, it is going to look okay. So I don't think it's going to cause us issues. On the inside it shouldn't be a problem because we have the corner. Both of these are facing inwards. I'm not going to have enough. Bumps. There we go. I missed my shovel. Got a little scared there that I had made an extra shovel in my inventory and didn't use it the whole time. You will be angry. Just for the sake of it. Not that anything is going to spawn, but just for when I put in the ceiling, then it's already done. So, plans for the building. I'm thinking probably something a little plain. Something like oak walls maybe. Birch would be nice, but we already have birch corners, so that would clash. Also birch flooring. But oak walls could look nice, and then I think if we do oak walls, then we could pull off a nether brick roof. Which would look nice because we have red nether brick, red nether brick, nether brick, red nether brick, red nether brick, nether brick. So sort of mixing back and forth between it. So I think that would look good. So the plan is then, this is sort of storage. Perhaps I put some beds in here for the farmers. I will probably also have the loom in here. Because we also want one of those workstations. I thought originally to have the smoker in here, but I decided to move it into that building instead. Even though we don't really want a smoker, but nevertheless. Leatherworker could also go in here. I'm not sure. I think I will also use it for the fisher. Because for the pump, I think it would look nice to use barrels outside, so we might as well have a fisher in that connection. And then we have the reservoir here, the viaduct coming in, and then we have maybe some raised gardens there and a field here with some different things that will provide them something more interesting than wheat and melons. So they also have some other crops. But probably most of it will be wheat, because I do like how it looks with a big wheat field. But the problem is space, because it does take up a lot of space. But like maybe all of this becomes a wheat field. And then we need probably also space for the animals. That could potentially be up there on connection with up there. So that's the plan. So for next time, I will probably continue working on this building. Or maybe work on the other footprint, I'll decide. Maybe work on the reservoir a bit, maybe work on the farm. I will definitely go in and change the mossy cobblestone with the regular cobblestone, so that it looks a little more nice. Add the flowers, fix the lighting inside that building, finish the roof. All that stuff, farm up a bunch more nether brick so that I can also do the roof on this thing, because if we used so many stacks on that roof, this roof is going to take a crazy amount as well, and this is double expensive because this takes 4 stacks of nether brick for a single stack of blocks, while that only takes 2, so yeah. Nice. But I think we are going to call it off because we have been going for over 3 hours. So I think it is time for me to rest my voice and start to power down for the evening. So let's discard everything. Where did I put the flowers? Did I move them out? Interesting. I'm sure I left the flowers in here, but I must have moved them back to the house. I guess I'll do that with these 2 then. It kind of makes sense because I usually go back and check what I have and then move them over here. My sticks. Alright. Actually, before we call it off, one last thing. Just because we can. Just here 32. Just to give a little bit of a top-down view. So the plaza, that will probably go away. Move the bell over by the well instead. Replace that plaza with a building, replace that with a building. Those will probably just be small houses. I don't think I'll make those into workstations because it is weird if all the buildings is workstations. So probably just additional beds. This building I'll probably just remove, and then I'll have a wall that goes down this way. Probably a wall across here, a wall across here, so that the reservoir is sort of dipping over the wall. Remove the farm over there, remove the path, remove that house in there, move the animals, and then we're about getting there. It won't be a massive sprawling metropolis, but that's also not really what I want, so... I still want it to be a village, because... I don't think you need that for, like, this here would be more of a boarding house if it was a big city, I think. Otherwise, like a community dining hall, that seems a little bit more small towny. So that's why I don't want it to get too big. It does create cave sounds, but it is completely mob-proof. Mobs can't spawn in there, so you don't have to worry about it. So, one last thing before we call it off. Because I talked about how I had done the tactical fishing one. And that is because I was out here, I took my lucky stick, and then I went out here and I was standing here and doing a little fishing. And I noticed a little cod that was swimming around here at my feet, all alone, no one else around. And kept very curiously pecking at my feet, like all the way up here and stuff. So I kind of felt like they're a little alone, so I figured that I wanted to give them a friend. So I will be their friend. So I have here a bucket of Edward. Edward the fish. And in here, I prepared a couple of things. We still need a bucket of water, which I conveniently have. Because down here I have prepared a home for Edward. I debated very much where to keep Edward, because I wanted Edward to have a place where they had like a good amount of space, but at the same time I didn't want to put Edward down in the storage room, for instance. That's like sad and lonely, and I could put like them up in like a window in there, but that would be too far away and hidden behind a building. I could do the aquarium, but again, that would be too far away. I thought about down here, but that doesn't really have the proper space. I thought about putting it here, by the way, new flags. But the problem is that we very quickly hit a limit on the size, so it could be like 1 deep, or only one deep, or be a little deeper but be very, very flat, and that's just not enough. So I decided that I wanted to make this place. So this will be Edward's home. So Edward will live here with us. And we can come down here, especially thanks now to Headpup. We can come down and say hello now and then. Oh. For despawns. So we can come down and hang out here. And Edward should be safe down here. So that is why we're going to call it. So let's hop back. I get the ending screen going. So that'll be it for the stream tonight. As I talked about in the beginning, update 26 for Puppercraft has come out, and I would like to do a stream on that. I would like to do it together with Moo, but Moo is not available until the weekend. I am not available really tomorrow, except for very late, and I think that will be too late, so it'll probably be Sunday. So quite likely a stream on Sunday. Keep an eye on my Mastodon and Twitter though. Otherwise, next Friday is the usual plan, but we see what happens regardless. I am going to get going though. So I hope that you enjoyed the stream, and I hope to see you again next time. For now, I'm gonna get going, so take care of yourselves, enjoy the rest of your weekend, and bye bye everyone. Bye.
Uh-huh.